Alright, hope everyone's doing beautiful today. Today what I got in store is going to be checking out another deck that I made for the card game Magic the Gathering. This is a 60 card standard legal deck and just kind of uses your opponent's cards against them. So I'm going to call this deck What's Yours Is Mine. Pretty much tries to take advantage of the cards in their deck, uses them against them. And I'll show you what I mean once I go through the mechanics of the cards and the cards that I picked out for this. There's a small little sideboard as well here. Anyways, this is a 60 card standard legal deck of Magic the Gathering cards. It is a 24 land deck. I have 12 swamps and I have 12 islands, totaling for 24 lands. Awesome, beautiful art, by the way. I love taking the time to pick out really fun art for all of my lands. Lovely. Yeah, just thumb through the swamps as well. So much fun. I love the art in this game. This art really is what brought me into loving this game and playing when I was younger. If there wasn't art on the cards, I would have never got into this. Anyways, I'm going to go into the creatures. I do have a playset of Thief of Sanity. Absolutely fun card. So great. Really takes advantage of your opponent's deck, and this really fits in the theme with trying to use your opponent's deck against them. I have a playset of these, so I have 4. It is 1, a blue, and a black. It's a 2/2 creature. It's a creature specter with flying, and it has whenever Thief of Sanity deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library. Exile one of them face down, then put the rest into their graveyard. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, you may cast it, you may spend mana, Azora mana of any type to cast that spell. How cool is that? As long as you attack them and it makes damage to the opponent, look at the top 3 cards of their library, pick one of them. If it could be a planeswalker, it could be an instant spell, it could be a counter spell, it could be a creature. You say, you know what, I'm going to take that card, exile it, and I'm going to be able to cast it whenever I want. So pretty much take that card, put it into your hand almost, and you can use any mana of any color to cast it. So awesome, and it's really sweet when you have a couple of these on the board because it triggers twice and you get to take 2 cards, and pretty much you just take advantage of their deck. It's really fun, especially when you put one of their planeswalkers or something like that onto the battlefield. Yeah, such a fun card, absolutely love it. So gotta have a playset of those, have that. I also have a playset of Hostage Taker, another really great card as well. This is 2 blue and a black. I have 4 of these as well. Playset. It is a creature human pirate for 2/3. And this ability is when Hostage Taker enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana of any color to cast that spell. Awesome card. When it comes into play, and your opponent has a creature on the battlefield, say they have a Thief of Sanity, you say, you know what, I'm going to exile Thief of Sanity, it exiles that card, and I'm able to play Thief of Sanity as long as Hostage Taker still has it exiled. So that's pretty cool. Another way to steal a creature or artifact from your opponent and use any mana to cast it. So pretty much if there's a huge creature on the battlefield or something like that, put one of these out, exile that card underneath it, and you can cast that creature or artifact and just use it against them as well. So much fun. Absolutely great card as well. Such a great card. So I have a playset of those as well. And then the last creature I have in this deck is 4 Nightveil Predator. Absolutely, I love this card. I really do. It's a 3/3 flying death touch hexproof vampire. How cool is that? It has flying, death touch, and hexproof. It's 2 blue and 2 black to play, and hexproof is this creature can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. So it's quite hard to get this creature off the battlefield. It's hard to kill this creature, and it has death touch, so if you're going to block a giant creature or something like that, it kills it right away, and it has flying. So honestly, great card just for defending, doing damage, and keeping a presence on the battlefield. How awesome is that? So I have a playset of those. Great card as well. Really great card. Next, that was all the creatures. I'm going to go into kind of the artifacts that I have. I have a Dimir Locket. I have a playset of these. Just 3 generic. It has tap, add blue or black to your mana pool. It has pay 4 for any combination of blue or black. Tap and sacrifice to draw 2 cards. This is just a good card. I thought it fit in this deck. Helped me with my mana fixings. If I needed like blue or black, this is able to produce it. And also, if I don't have a lot of cards in my hands later on in the game, sacrifice it for 4 mana and draw 2 cards, which would be pretty helpful. So I do have a playset of these. Really like this card as well. Pretty art too. So that is my first artifact. The next artifact that I have is, makes perfect sense in this deck, the Chaos Wand. Absolutely such a fun card. This one extremely takes advantage of your opponent's deck. Just such a fun card, so much fun. I recommend putting in a deck and just seeing what happens. It is colorless. It is a Chaos Wand for 3 generic. It's an artifact, looks like some sort of wand. It has 4 in tap. Target opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile an instant or sorcery card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost and put the exiled cards that weren't cast this way into the bottom of their library in a random order. So, put this on the battlefield, pay 4 and tap. You go through their whole library until you reach an instant or sorcery card, and if you're able to cast it, you cast it. It doesn't matter if it's a 10 mana card, a 1 mana card, or whatever. There's been a lot of fun times where they have a Planeswalker in the battlefield, and I'll pay 4 and tap it, and I'll get like Valkyra's, I don't know, a card that exiles their Planeswalker. I forgot the name of it. Something Contempt. And yeah, it's really fun. And also, if they have like a blue deck or something like that, chances are they probably have counterspells in there. There's been quite a few times where I paid 4 and tapped this and countered a spell when I don't have a counterspell in hand. So that's pretty fun as well. KS1 is a really fun card, throws up the game a bit, and it really uses your opponent's deck to your advantage. So like the whole theme of this deck is to be using your opponent's cards against them. And I think that's a really fun theme as well. So Chaos Wand fits there perfectly. Such a fun card. I suggest playing with it just to have fun, definitely. Because most people, they want to put good cards in their deck, so it makes sense to want to use them. The next card I have, just a counter spell. This is a Sinister Sabotage, 1 and 2 blue. It's a counter target spell. Really great to just have a counter spell in this deck since there is blue in this deck, and every once in a while, you want to counter something like a Planeswalker, big creature, whatever you want. Nice to have a counterspell, and it does have Surveil 1, which is great. Look at the top card of your library. We'll put that card into your graveyard. So it also lets you look at the top card of your library, and if you don't want to draw that next turn, put it into your graveyard. And yeah, so just a great counterspell with Surveil, so why not put it in this deck? So I do have a playset of those. And then the next card I have, I'll put this in instant pile. Setting these piles to the side. Got the creatures, artifacts, instance. The next one I have is a playset of Expanse and Explosion. Even though I do not have any red mana in this deck, I do have blue mana. So pretty much I'm not going to be using the Explosion half. So right now we're just going to pretend that it just says Expansion. And what this is, I have a playset of these, is it's an instant. This is a split card. It says copy target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. So how cool is that? There's been quite a few times where someone tries to counter one of my counter spells or like counter one of my creatures or something like that, and you can play this expansion and you copy that counterspell and counter their counterspell. How cool is that? Or there's been quite a few times where someone uses a card to like exile a creature of mine. I'll copy that spell and I'll exile a creature of theirs or Planeswalker theirs, and just awesome using their spells against them. And also, there's been quite a few times where people make like a bunch of Sparling tokens or something like that, or Vampire tokens, and I copy that and I put 4 into the battlefield as well, and it just it's a nice look on their face when you see that you just copy their spell and you put the tokens on instead. A lot of fun. They still get the tokens, but you get them as well. So this is a great card. I don't use it for the explosion part. I just use it for the expansion. Really great. Copy target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. Of course, for cards with converted mana cost 5 and above or whatever, you're not going to be able to touch those. But most of the time, this gets a good majority of them all, if not most of them. Anyways, great card, have that as well, and that is instant speed. And then the next card I have a playset of the Eldest Reborn. Absolutely love this card. It's a Saga card from Dominaria, and this helps with Planeswalker removal or creature removal. It's 4 in a black, and it's a Saga. This is the Saga. As the Saga enters the battlefield, you draw as the Saga and after your draw step, add a lore counter, sacrifice after 3. So you got 3 times that this goes through. Each opponent sacrifices a creature Planeswalker. So if they just have a Planeswalker in the battlefield, you play this down, they gotta sacrifice it. If they just have one creature in the battlefield, you play this down, they gotta sacrifice it. If they have nothing there, they just put it down. Each opponent discards a card for the second Saga counter or lore counter. And then the third one is really great as well. It says, put target creature or Planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. I love that it says Planeswalker card as well. There's been so many times where I put in a Planeswalker that they had in their graveyard onto my battlefield under my control, or a creature that they had, or a creature that I have, or something like that. Like sometimes it's fun. You put one of these out, then you like throw down then you take from your graveyard like a hostage taker, then you exile another creature of theirs on the battlefield, and then you play that one as well. So like there's just so many fun things you can do with this card and with the other creature cards and stuff like that in this deck, and really awesome to put a Planeswalker of theirs onto the battlefield under your control. Such a great card. Have a playset of these. So much fun. This is a great Saga. And then the last card that I have for this, I have a playset of Rise from the Grave. Great card. 4 in a black. Sorcery. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other types and colors. And yeah, just a great card to put a creature, either one of my creatures or one of your opponent's creatures, onto the battlefield under your control. Just great to bring back creatures. And yeah, really just Pretty simple. You just bring a record creature onto the battlefield. Love this card as well, and this is a sorcery. And then that is the 60 cards for my deck, and there is a sideboard. I don't have many sideboard cards, but I do have a playset of Unmoored Ego. This is a fantastic card. If you have a blue and a black deck, I would suggest just sideboarding this. And what this card is, it's a sorcery. Choose a card name, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name, and exile them. That player shuffles their library, then draws a card for each way exiled from their hand this way. This card can put a stop to any deck. This is a great sideboard. If you've played the first game and you notice that they just destroyed you with like a Teferi Planeswalker or something like that, play this card, name Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, search their library, hand, and graveyard for that card, just exile them right off the bat. They're gone. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And honestly, sometimes this just makes the game over. If they're relying on one card to win the game and you exile this card on turn 3, you pretty much won the game. How cool is that? So honestly, this is a great card as well. I would suggest sideboarding this to any deck that has a blue or black in it. And that makes perfect sense in this one as well. There's been many times where this really saves the day on game 2. Anyways, just a fun little deck that I just want to share with you all. Just pretty much uses your opponent's creatures and spells against them. And just a lot of fun to make a deck that really focuses on using your opponent's deck for you. A lot of fun. Just want to say real quick before I go, sometimes life is very hard, very stressful, and I just want to say stick in there, stay positive, stay strong, feel the love and spread the love and good energy. And if you're ever in need or any trouble or anything like that, just reach out. People are always there to help you. People love you all around. Just want to let you know that. And if you don't have anyone that you can message or reach out to, feel free to message me. I'm here if you ever need it. Just want to say I love you all. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my channel. Stay positive, and I'll catch you all on the next one.